Would you like to know how to become more charismatic? If so, then make sure you stick around until the very end. Today, we're going to talk about 7 secrets to become more likable. I'm about to share with you the exact same process that I've used to get more people to like me almost instantly. Secret number 1 is to do more interesting things. Not that long ago, I got invited by a friend to come to his house for a barbecue. I was pumped to attend for sure. I was also looking forward to meeting new people and expanding my network as well. So, as soon as I got to the event, I introduced myself to someone that I haven't met yet. We made some small talk. Unfortunately, our interaction didn't go past that. This guy just didn't have much to say. That's why I found it so difficult to keep a conversation going with him. First of all, he didn't really like his job, so he was pretty negative about it. He hasn't really traveled much. Also, the last time he read a book was when he was still in college. These days, all he does is go to work, go home, and watch TV shows. If you can relate to that, and you want to become a likable person, you have to make time to do more interesting things. It doesn't even have to be anything expensive or crazy extravagant. For example, you can visit a part of your city that you haven't been to yet. You can order a dish at a restaurant that you normally wouldn't. You can also take up a different hobby or learn a new skill. Personally, I love listening to audiobooks. It's a great way to learn valuable information about commuting, buying groceries, or doing laundry. That way, I can continuously educate myself and make the most out of any downtime. As a result, whenever I meet someone new or catch up with a friend, I always have something to share with them. At the end of the day, the more knowledge and experiences that you have, the more open-minded you'll become. You'll have something to say about many different things. This will help you connect with individuals from different backgrounds much easier. You'll become a more engaging conversationalist, and people will look forward hanging out with you. Secret number 2 is to think more objectively. Remember, the way you think determines how you feel. You'll have a difficult time managing your emotions if you tend to ruminate a lot. If this sounds like you and you want to become a likable person, you need to get out of your head. Stop overanalyzing everything. Instead, you need to train yourself to think more objectively. If not, then you'll always worry about the opinions of others, which can make you feel nervous. The reality is, nobody's paying as much attention to you as you might assume. Everyone is too focused on themselves the same way that you are as well. I mean, just think about it. Can you think of the last time someone did something silly or embarrassing? Unless it was recent or something really bad happened, you probably can't remember it, right? That's why it doesn't matter if you mispronounce a word or tell a joke that nobody laughed at. Not many people will remember it, so you don't need to worry about it so much. When you're able to manage your expectations better, you'll feel more confident putting yourself out there. As a result, you'll live your life to the fullest instead of having lots of regrets later on. Secret number 3 is to get good at reading social cues. As an immigrant, I had a tough time fitting in when I was younger. Growing up in the Philippines and being raised in Saudi Arabia, I was exposed to different cultural norms. So, when my family and I moved to Canada when I was 17, I found it really difficult to assimilate. I just didn't know what was considered to be acceptable behavior in my new environment. As a result, I acted in ways that made me seem weird to others. That's why a lot of people avoided me because I made them feel uncomfortable. Remember, the meaning of the communication is the response that it gets. At the end of the day, you can have the best intentions ever. But if you can't express yourself well, then it doesn't matter. That's why in order to influence those around you, you have to get good at reading social cues. By doing so, you'll be able to get a sense for where others are at. This will help you calibrate your message better. As a result, you'll be able to convey your ideas in a way that will be received well by whoever you interact with. If you want to become more socially savvy, you have to be more observant. That way, you'll be able to recognize patterns better. To help you implement this for yourself, try watching a movie without the sound on. And then, just pay attention to how people behave and interact with each other. Look at their body language and facial expressions very closely. Do your best to identify what they said and how they said it. And then, watch the movie again with the sound on. That way, you can hear their dialogue to see if your assumptions were accurate or not. If you do this over time, you'll be able to read social cues more effectively. When you understand people better, you can adjust the way you communicate with them. As a result, you'll build rapport with anybody you interact with very quickly. To help you out, I made a free cheat sheet that will show you how to approach and talk to anybody. You can download a free copy by going to socialconfidencemastery.com. That link is also available in the description below. Secret number 4 is to express yourself better. Are you tired of being ignored in social situations? If so, you're not alone. In fact, this is a common issue that I see a lot with our clients in our social skills coaching program. Most of them have introverted personalities and tend to ruminate a lot. They're always in their heads overthinking social situations. They're also very soft-spoken. That's why whenever they do share something, people have a hard time hearing them out. If you often get asked to repeat what you just said, then you know what I'm talking about. If this keeps happening, you'll have lower self-esteem and act more timid in any gathering. And because you appear shy and reserved, not many people will notice you. This can make you feel invisible and undervalued. That being said, if you want to become a likable person, you need to be able to articulate yourself better. By doing so, you'll feel more confident expressing yourself. To help you with this, you have to talk slower and finish your words. Also, in order to speak louder, talk from your stomach instead of your chest. Use your hands to accentuate your points and vary your tonality as well. By doing these things, you'll come across more authoritative during your interactions. People will listen to what you have to say and they'll take you more seriously. This will help you develop a stronger presence. As a result, you'll become more memorable in social situations. By the way, if you're tired of struggling socially and you want to learn more about our social skills coaching program, I'd love to connect with you. Book your free consultation today by going to socialconfidencemastery.com. That link is also available in the description below. Secret number 5 is to become a good listener. From what I've noticed, those who struggle socially tend to be too focused on what they're gonna say next. They're so afraid of making a mistake. That's why it's hard for them to just act like themselves. As a result, their mind often goes blank and they have a lot of trouble keeping the conversation going. If this sounds like you, you'll discourage a lot of people from wanting to hang out with you. First of all, nobody likes being in a conversation with someone who's not fully there. Also, if you tend to have awkward silences during your interactions, you'll make anyone feel uncomfortable. In order to fix this issue, I want to remind you something. There's a reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. If you want to become a more likable person, you have to practice being a good listener. The next time you talk to someone, make an effort to be more present. Take the time to identify what they're saying and really try to see where they're coming from. Lean forward to show interest and nod in agreement to acknowledge what the other person is sharing. When you do, you'll improve your connection with everyone you interact with. Not to mention, you'll have an easier time coming up with things to say because you were actually paying attention. You'll be able to ask the right questions and come up with relevant things to share. By being a good listener, people will leave the interaction with a positive impression of you. Secret number 6 is to make an effort to relate to others. Remember, familiarity builds comfort very quickly, so explore as many mutual interests as you can. That's why you need to do your best to relate. You can either do it logically or emotionally. If you know a lot about the topic that's being discussed, then mention your personal experiences as well. For example, let's say you and the person you're chatting with are both into technology. Then, by all means, keep talking about that. But what if the person you're talking to said something that you're not familiar with? Let's say they're into photography and you know nothing about it. In that situation, try to relate emotionally. All you have to do is to find out their motivation for why they do what they do. You can ask, what got you into that? That question will encourage the person you're speaking with to open up more. And then share something that you did in the past that made you feel the exact same way as well. The better you are at doing this, the more likable you'll come across in any interaction. Secret number 7 is to be open to receiving feedback. Because nobody taught me how, I found it difficult to relate to people when I was younger. In fact, I would say things to others that would offend them without me knowing it. And the worst part was, I would have no idea how I even did it. That's why I became hesitant to put myself out there. I was afraid that I would make people feel bad. So I figured it's best to just keep things to myself. Fast forward to today, things have changed. I now have an active social life filled with individuals that I'm excited to spend time with. Looking back now, I never would have been in this situation if it wasn't for my mentors and other people who helped me out. At the end of the day, nobody's perfect. We all have flaws and things that we could improve on. And the only way to get better is to keep an open mind. You have to set your ego aside and be willing to receive feedback from those around you. That's why if you want to become a high-value person, you always have to remain humble. If there's an area in your life that you're not happy with, seek some help around it. One of the best ways to do this is to ask people who have what you want and that you also trust for some guidance. Get them to tell you what you're doing well and what you still need to work on. To be honest with you, you're probably going to hear some things that you may not like. If that's the case, try not to get defensive and don't take anything personally. Use the information they give you as an opportunity to improve yourself. If you do this consistently, you'll get results much faster because you know exactly what to work on. You'll make fewer mistakes and experience less frustration. If you would like to know how to build rapport with others, then make sure you watch this next video. That's where I give you more tips on how to make people crave being around you. By the end of it, you'll learn how to become a more likable individual, so make sure you check it out.